All right. So what I'm going to ask all of us to do is, as we start our yoga practice, lay flat on the ground, assuming Shavasana. This is where we're going to start to get comfortable, to notice if we're feeling anything in our shoulders or our necks. And I'll join you down in our corpse position. So you can figure out if you'd like your arms down by your sides or if you want them resting on your belly. And I want us to start paying attention to our breathing. Just natural inhales and exhales through the nose. And we're going to work on what's called a diaphragmatic breath. So diaphragmatic breath, we breathe in through the nose and we fill our stomach area up with air. And then as we exhale, we let the stomach area deflate. Now, I want you to make sure you're always breathing through your nose. So the inhale comes in through your nose. It filters the air, it keeps the muscles in the face relaxed. When you exhale, that can be through your nose or your mouth. Honestly, that's personal preference. But when we're doing our diaphragmatic breath, I really do want you to try to keep your chest relaxed, your neck and your shoulders. A lot of us are talking about how our necks are tight, our shoulder area is tight. So I want us to try to relieve and release some of that tension by focusing on how to breathe properly. And we breathe properly through using and activating our diaphragm. Kind of like this funny balloon that lives behind our stomach under our rib cage. And as we fill that balloon with our big inhale, we want to feel and lift the stomach up. And you're also going to feel your back maybe push down or expand because it's under your rib cage, and your rib cage is all the way around your body. It's on the back, it's around the sides, and in through the front. So it's kind of expanding like this. And then on that exhale, you can feel everything just deflate and get smaller. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and reach those arms up nice and long above our head. Reach them long on the ground as far as they'll go. Maybe we feel like we can fill the rib cage even more. Feel it expand. Feel those backs expand. And then release those arms. Let's gather our knees into our chest and give ourselves an enormous hug. Let's start the day off by holding onto the legs, either the thighs or the shins, and start rocking back and forth, side to side. Notice how that feels if we have our tight hips, if we have knots in our backs. And we hold onto our knees to chest, and we just roll our ankles. Good, getting rid of all those crooks and cracks. Now, keeping a hold of our right knee, let's extend that left leg down to the floor. Drawing the right knee over and out towards our right shoulder, really press the left leg down into the ground. Notice while we're doing this, we're still trying to keep our shoulders down on the floor, nice and relaxed. Also notice if the head is flat on the ground, we want our nose to stay pointing up to the ceiling. This is just becoming aware of our body, knowing how we're positioned. Take that right knee and drawing it across now towards our left shoulder. It doesn't have to be a very big movement. Still keeping both shoulders on the ground, nose towards the ceiling, and just notice if we're feeling a stretch through the right hip. Inhaling the knee into the middle. Exhale, release to the floor. Inhale that left knee. Open the knee out towards the left shoulder. Now this time we're firmly pressing that right leg into the ground. Now I want you to pay attention to this left foot. You've hugged the left knee into the shoulder. Go ahead and make sure that that left foot is relaxed. There's no need to make it tight or tense. Shoulders are on the floor, collarbones are open, exposing that heart center. Taking the knee across towards the right shoulder now. Notice if we're feeling anything through the left hip. Maybe we're feeling something similar, or maybe it's different from the right side. Just checking in with that. It's always nice to make that mental note, learning something about ourselves each and every time we practice yoga. Inhale the knee into the middle. Exhale, release down to the ground. Go ahead and take both feet flat onto the floor. We're going to activate our glute muscles, helping to stretch open the front of the hips with our glute bridges. Feet are placed hips width distance apart, knees pointing straight up to the sky. Hands are down by the ground on either side of our hip. Making sure the shoulders have rolled into the mat, collars stay open. We zip up through the core. Are we ready? We inhale, lift the hips towards the ceiling. And exhale, slowly, slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time through the spine. Inhale, lift up, strong abdominal muscles. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, we're just comfortable on those shoulders. We'll do this one more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, release. Very nice. Let's cross our right foot over the left knee in what's called our figure 4 position. Now just gently, we can press that knee open with our right hand. Watch that we didn't just twist or fall. I want us to keep our hips flat and level on the ground as we push that knee away. And if anybody needs just a little bit more this morning, go ahead and thread the hands underneath the left leg. Now, just as we did before in our stretches, I want you to make sure that you haven't added extra tension to the feet. You can flex that right foot, however, and that could help trigger the right hip to stretch a bit more. You can also use that right elbow to press the knee away if you're not using your hand already. One more big inhale. Exhale, release the legs. Good, let's take that left foot across now. Again, as soon as you bring the knee across, allow the knee to press open using just your brain power. Then you can use that left hand. Did you just tilt or switch in any way the posture? Keeping yourself level, neutral spine. Feel free to just push or thread under. Relax the right foot as we press that left leg, and you can flex that left foot. Checking in with our neck and shoulders, making sure that they're relaxed on the ground. This is our opportunity to relax, so take advantage of it. Let me tell you what to do so that you don't have to think. I want you just to focus on your breathing, stretching your muscles, relaxing your body and your mind. Giving your heart a chance to kind of reset to any of that emotional stress that maybe we were carrying around from the week. Go ahead and take one more big inhale. And exhale, relax. Oh, it feels so good. From here, go ahead and just take a few windshield wipers with those knees rocking side to side, noticing how that feels. And I'd like us next to take ourselves all the way over to one side, rolling up nice and easy, all the way over onto hands and knees. Tabletop position. We place our hands directly beneath our shoulders. Knees are positioned underneath our hips. Abdominal muscles drawing in, backs are as flat as a table. And just watch that we haven't hyperextended our elbows. They're staying soft. We'll find a little bit of balance this morning in our spinal balance. Reaching our right arm forward, press that left leg back, and release down. Inhale, left arm and right leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, right, thumb towards the sky. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, left. Exhale, very nice. So just finding that balance. From tabletop, taking our cows and cats. We inhale, untuck the tailbone, look forward, opening the chest. Exhale, round the back, draw the bellies in nice and tight. And then taking our exhale, big inhale, open. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, open, lifting tall through the crown of head. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And one more time, exhale, round. Good. From here, just sinking back into our hips, finding child's pose stretch. Reaching those arms forward, heads come down. Couple nice big breaths here. All right, what I'd like us to do is come forward into tabletop, stepping our right foot up into runner's lunge, a great hip opener. So we start by taking ourselves upright into our lunge, keeping those hip bones pointing forward. Now what I'd like us to do is just lean far enough forward that we're opening up that back hip, reaching our arms up nice and tall, relax the shoulders down, and then as we come forward, ensuring that our right knee stays stacked above the ankle. You can always wiggle your toes. And we're not letting our, as I had a trainer once tell me, our glitter spill out by tilting our hips forward or leaning too much into it. But we're keeping our glitter, nice way of saying your stomach, pulled into your body, engaging your abdominal muscles, keeping this all engaged tightly. As we hold this here, I want us to just close our eyes. If you're able to, if that's too much today for our balance, go ahead and look forward. Try to really keep those shoulders pulled down away from our ears. Notice our breathing. Are we just breathing up through our necks, or are we able to really take these nice, deep, full breaths right from the stomach? One more big inhale. Exhale, good. Now bring the hands down. Leave the feet where they are. We're taking a twisted lunge. So I want you to keep your left hand right beside your foot as you open that right arm high towards the sky. This is a great stretch for the shoulder, the chest, keeping that knee stacked above your ankle. You may find that the hand is too much. You could take a fist instead. If you have a yoga block at home, you could put your hand on a block. Otherwise, that arm is reaching straight up to the sky. Know where it is. If it's too much up high today, always feel free to wrap it down and around into your back pocket. Make sure we're not leaning on that bottom shoulder. We're always lifting up and away. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release. Now we're going to work our hips backwards into a hamstring stretch. Now I'm going to just start to straighten out that front leg as we hinge our hips back. Feel free to draw the toe up to add an extra calf stretch, keeping your back flat. If this is just way too intense for us today to have our hands down on the floor, again, if you had yoga blocks, you could put them right underneath your hands, or you can bring them up to your hips. If you happen to have a chair or a ball nearby, you could rest your hands either or on that ball as well. Use whatever equipment or assistance you need. Yoga does not have to be done independently. You can definitely use equipment to help you. Otherwise, I just want your shoulders and your hips facing forward. Again, feel free to flatten out those backs. Really help pull the muscles all the way up the backs of our legs, our hip, knee, ankle, a little bit into that Achilles. Now let's just play with the foot a little bit here, pointing the foot and flexing. Couple more times. On the next point, go ahead and work our way all the way forward. Sweep that knee back and press back into another child's pose stretch. Couple of breaths here. And now with our next inhale, work our way up into tabletop again. I'd like us to take a few more cats and cows before we do runner's lunge series on the left side. Keeping our hands underneath our shoulders. To take our cow, we tuck that tailbone and lift it up, opening the chest with our inhale. And then exhale, round the back, draw the belly buttons in. Puff up those shoulders, tuck the chin. Inhale, we open up to cow, tall through crown of head. Exhale, tuck the tailbone around the back, even higher. And one more time each way. Inhale, open. And exhale, round up, really nice and high. Good, from tabletop. Take your time as we sweep that left foot through, however you need to get it there. Knee stacked right on top of ankle. Always ensure that you're building strong foundation with a good, nice flat foot. Knee right on top. When you're ready, we lift up, comfortable on our knees. Again, we're not spilling our glitter out. We're engaging through the abdominal muscles, pulling them in as we reach our hip forward. And now we can lift our arms up nice and tall, roll those shoulders down. Good. Feel free to take heart center instead for anyone who's not doing big shoulder movements today. And just keeping our body square to the front. As I mentioned with the right leg forward, we can close our eyes, really drawing our focus inwards, focusing on our breathing. One more big inhale. Exhale, bring our hands down, preparing for that twisted lunge. So you can use a flat hand or a fist right beside your foot. We open up that left arm high to the sky, making sure we're not leaning into this elbow, but lifting out as we twist. And also, while we're holding this, just making sure that we're not letting our knee falter to the side. You're keeping the knee stacked right on top of that ankle. Good. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, releasing it down. Getting ready for that single hamstring stretch. Start to rock your hips backwards. You can pull the foot up into a flexed position. As you keep your abdominal muscles engaged for balance, back can stay flat, or you can come up from your hands on the floor to on the hips, or even onto that bent thigh. If you had yoga blocks or something a little bit higher, you can hold on to that. Just try not to open and cheating yourself out of a good stretch. Try to keep your chest pointing straight towards your shin bone, the front of your leg. And then just start to play with pointing your foot and flexing the foot. Notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. I know a lot of us want to stretch our calves, our hamstrings, our hips, into our backs and our necks. What that's called when you want to stretch the entire back side of your body, that's your posterior chain. So that's what our focus is on today. Go ahead and rock all the way forward. Sweep that knee back behind you. Take your time. Sitting into child's pose. This is another great stretch for hips, knees, shins, and feet. Just by sitting into this position, allowing our body to release tension, stretch through the front of those feet, down the front of the legs. And we'll get into our next big posterior chain stretch, downward facing dog. Hands are firm on the floor, shoulder width distance apart with spread fingers. Curl the toes as we lift the hips up high, and then try to drop those feet towards the floor and allow your head to hang in between your hands. So notice that we're not rounding our back, but we're trying to lift the tailbone up nice and high, draw the bellies in, and then press your chest back towards your knees. Go ahead and walk the dog, pedaling the feet, right to left. This is a great way to stretch through the feet and the calf muscles, the Achilles up the back of the ankle, and just play with one foot pedaling down at a time. You can even play with fanning your feet out from pinky toe to big toe and back again. It's a really nice massage for the fascia in the feet, that connective tissue with the muscles to bones. Now, while we're here, I want us to look up between our hands, kick our right foot all the way forward. We're coming into warrior one. So with my right knee stacked above my ankle, We're going to plant our left foot down on the floor. Now notice my whole foot is down, so I had to rotate my foot open a bit to get my heel on the floor. Take your time as you walk all the way up. Find a spot on the wall if that's going to help you with your balance. Ensure that we've got hip bones facing forward, shoulders facing forward, so right to the front of your mat. Now, if this is too big, mine's too big right now, I'm just going to cut it a bit shorter. That way my knee can be right on top of my ankle. Heel is glued on the floor behind, both arms raised. Shoulders relaxed, stomach muscles tight. Very good. I'm just going to show from another angle so you can see. We've got hips square, feet hips width distance apart, shoulders down. Close your eyes if you'd like to. It's a great calf stretch in Warrior One. Stretching up the whole back leg. What's also great about this is it's an opportunity for us just to check in with our balance. We feel very grounded with both feet firmly planted into the ground. Hands come down. Straighten out those legs. We're coming into our next pose. This is our pyramid. Pyramid, like the Egyptian triangles, those crazy, awesome, built way before us buildings here. We're going to walk down and create that shape. So you need to keep your body flat. Nice straight edges. As soon as we feel a stretch behind the knee, we're going to hold it. So whether your hand is on your leg, your foot, yoga blocks if you have them, or down on the ground, I want both shoulders equally spaced around that front foot. I'll show it from the side too. So just from that Warrior One position, we had straight legs, not locked, little knee bend, hinging forward, keeping your backs flat. And then you can get the idea, if you were able to get straight and long enough of that triangle to mimic just a 2D version of the pyramid. Obviously, it's not a complete replica, but we use just loose illustrations for our imagery and our names. Now from here, we're going to add another twist. So you can take your left hand onto your right leg or onto the floor, and then we open the right arm up to the sky. This is an amazing stretch for the hip. I'm going to do that again from the front. So if you were in pyramid, even if you were touching just the leg up here nice and high, I just want you to twist and see if you can open up the right arm. So you can put your hand down on the ground, if that helps. Very nice. So let's just slowly draw both hands down, bend the knee. Take your time as you walk all the way up. Now we still have that right foot forward. We're going to open up into Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, you're creating a nice long line here. Arms are open, and you're imagining that your whole back was against the wall. So if you've got your right foot forward, and that left foot is going to point towards the long edge of the mat, right foot points towards the short edge of the mat. Arms are stacked on top, shoulders, hips, knees, they all touch that wall behind you. See how that right knee is a beautiful 90-degree angle, or getting to it, keeping that knee stacked right on top of the ankle. And the knee is running over the middle toe. You can always see your big toe if you were to glance down at your knee and your foot. Strong arms. No spaghetti arms. I want strong arms. Good. Let's stretch that out a little bit more. Taking your right elbow, bend it. Left arm comes high. So the right arm, although it's attached to your knee, I'm going to come closer so you can see. In no way are we leaning. Okay, so we're coming here, and you could serve me a plate of grapes if you wanted to. Good, keeping the position. Hold that there for a second longer. And then big inhale, lift up nice and high. We'll take our waterfall. Exhale, slow control waterfall all the way into lunge. Step back into your first plank. From plank position, I want a chaturanga. So you can take your knees to the floor to do this. As we slow lower all the way down, scoop up for cobra. It can be baby or full, whatever feels good today. Great stretch for the abdominal muscles and a great way to lengthen our back. Press back into child's pose whenever you're ready. A couple big breaths, everyone. Check in with how we're feeling. And whenever we're ready, pull the hips up nice and high as we push away from our hands. Now we're in down dog. Tailbone is high. Look back at our feet and see if our heels can get a little bit closer. Now they're only spaced about a hand or a footprint apart. They're not very far. And as we glue those heels down or at least towards the ground, we lift our tailbone up nice and high. We press our chest back towards our knees. Go ahead and just shake the head no. Let's get rid of any of that extra neck tension. And then nod the head yes. Very good. Let's slowly look up between our hands, kick our left foot forward. Stacking the knee above ankle. Planting our right foot on the ground completely for warrior one. So again, you may need to turn your toe out a little bit to get that heel down on the floor. Slowly, slowly walking up. Takes a lot of control, a lot of body awareness, a lot of abdominal work. Keeping those hips facing front. Bending into the knee, adjust the feet. Maybe you need them to be a bit wider. Maybe you need them to be a bit farther apart or shorter. Go ahead and take that position now. As you reach forward into that front knee, glue that back heel down to the floor. Shoulders and hips face front, not letting our glitter spill, keeping that strong as we lift our arms up. Now, are you able to close your eyes? Are you able to take a few nice deep breaths? What's happening today? Noticing our shoulders. Trying not to scrunch our toes. Nice long through the toes. Spread out those feet. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release our arms down, hands to hips. Get ready for pyramid. So if you find that your legs are too far apart, go ahead and shorten them. You can even bend that front knee a little bit, but keep your belly button facing your knee, okay? As we walk down into pyramid pose, you can keep it back flat. Hands are on either side of the leg, the foot, the floor. If you have those yoga blocks, again, feel free to hold those. Sometimes it gives you just that extra little bit of reach. So it helps make your arms a little bit longer. And just breathe. In yoga, we use our breathing to help us lengthen our muscles, help us get into our rest and repair or rest and relax state instead of fight or flight. When we're in fight or flight, our body thinks that it has to protect itself, and then it's tight and it's on guard. We don't need that right now. So we breathe out nice and long in order to help relax the muscles. Slowly, we're going to twist this. So we can take our right hand, keep it on the floor, or bring it across towards that left leg as we, balance, open that left arm up towards the sky. Wow, this side is tricky for me. So checking in with that, find something you can look at on the wall. Again, I'll do that from the front so you can see. Okay, so straight as we are in pyramid, and then, open up that left side. Okay, great job. All right, from here, just slow that down. Take our time as we stand up, getting ready for warrior two. So from warrior one, we're simply going to switch our hips to face the side. Your left knee is opening up. Arms are reaching strong. Again, imagine that you're against a wall. So your knee touches the wall, hips, shoulders, hands. Everything touches that wall. Keep bending forward. Feels so good, doesn't it? Let's get from warrior two into side angle. We bring ourselves forward over that bent knee, left elbow on the knee, right arm high to the sky. I'll show that from the side profile. So Warrior one, warrior two, side angle. Again, that plate of grapes is there for us to offer. Keeping our hips nice and flat, not leaning. All these important things that help us really gain control and awareness of our body. That last big inhale, lift tall. Waterfall, we exhale, fan ourselves all the way down into lunge. Sweep back into plank, however you need to get there. Coming into our chaturanga. You can do this from your knees again, or keep your feet flat, slowly lowering down. And then scoop up for cobra. Bring those shoulders down our back. Lift up nice and tall. You're choosing to do full cobra, not leaning, but using your abdominal muscles to lift up. Slight bend in the elbow, long reach of the neck. Very good. Let's push back into child's pose. Sink those hips down nice and low. Extend those arms. Push away from the fingers. Just take a moment here. While we're sitting in child's pose, just taking a breath. Good. Now, while we're in child's pose, I want us to stretch our shoulders a bit more. So we'll thread the needle, taking our right arm underneath the left. Let's go ahead and lay into that right ear. Really lovely shoulder stretch. Hold this for a moment. And we'll switch sides. From the middle, taking the other arm, thread it underneath and lay into the shoulder. Slowly coming back to the middle. Take our time as we work our way all the way down onto our mat. We're going to take another hip opener. This is going to involve stretching open the entire front of our body. So now stretching the front, we're taking our right hand to hold our right ankle in half bow. Try to leave your knees close together. Press your left hand down to the ground. Flex your foot up to the sky. Roll that shoulder down in the back. 1, 2, 3, lift. So we're trying to press our heel up to the sky, pulling at our hand as we pull our hand onto our foot. Like a little bit of a tug of war. It's going to help tell our muscles that we want them to lengthen and we want them to remember to lengthen. We want them to remember what the stretch feels like. Keeping your chest and your belly button down towards the floor. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, relax. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Half bow. Now left hand holds left ankle. Again, I want those knees touching at least to start or close to it. Flex the left foot. Dig that right hand right underneath the shoulder. 1, 2, 3, lift. Now, whatever this looks like for you, I know I still really want your nose, center of your chest, belly button, pubic bone completely square to the floor. Heel up towards the sky as we press that foot away from the body and up towards the ceiling. It's going to help stretch open the whole left side. One more big inhale. Exhale, relax. Hands under shoulders, reaching ourselves up into baby cobra or full cobra once more. Amazing. Now as we slowly press ourselves back through child's pose, you're going to feel a lot of stretch happening through your backs. Taking our time as we work our way all the way over and down. So down on our backs. Take your time, as I mentioned. You can even hug your knees into your chest. We're going to come into our next couple of stretches here, focusing primarily on opening up through the back again. Going to offer some extension through the hips too. So our first one is going to be wheel, and we can do this in different stages. So just be patient while I walk you through it. We bring our feet to the floor. Keep your feet quite close to your body. So draw those heels in so that they're almost touching your bum, or as close to it that you can get. Keeping your feet hips width distance apart, knees to the ceiling. We inhale, lift our hips up and hold. Make sure you're comfortable here. Some of us are gonna stay here. Some of us may wanna roll up under your shoulders just a bit more. You can even interlace your fingers and open up for a chest expansion. This is a great place to hold. If you wanna try to come into wheel, a full bridge in gymnastics, now we take our hands beside our ears, elbows pointing straight up to the sky, and you try to lift your shoulders and your head up, keeping your knees pointing forward. Trying to lift your belly button straight to the sky. It's a lot on the shoulders, so play with it just a little bit. And whenever you're ready, you slowly tuck your chin as you bring your head down, your hips down, and your knees into your chest for a gigantic hug. Oh, it feels so good. Just rocking side to side. Very good. Now we're going to continue to work with that extra length that we just got by taking both knees up 90 degrees, arms out to the side. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, drop both knees to the right. Keeping your shoulders glued to the ground. Hand can come on top of those legs. I want everyone to take a big inhale as we look over that left arm. Exhale, melt into the floor. Just relax your shoulders. Let your legs hang or melt into the ground. Let go of the tension in your abdominal muscles. Just let them go. Sometimes it's hard to let them relax. Doing so. Take an inhale, lift the knees up. Exhale, let them come to the left. Again, you can hold on to those legs. Looking over that right arm. Same thing, I want you to try to let go of your abs. Inhale, lifting the knees in. You can give them another big hug. Take the feet to the ground. Open the knees out into a butterfly. Soles of the feet press together. Knees are opening out, and your hands can just come onto your belly. Holding it here for a moment, I want you to really notice if your shoulders are relaxed, if we're noticing that we're feeling our knees melt into the ground, if your knees can be closed. Now, if you want to help your knees all the way into that closed position, and then just taking Shavasana. Shavasana is going to be where we end, so you can get into that comfortable position now. Again, you don't have to take legs extended, legs straight. You could stay on butterfly if you'd prefer. This is where I'd recommend we end, feeling our body lengthen again. You can keep your hands on your belly or arms down by our sides. Another great place is to have your left hand up on your heart, right hand on the belly. This way you can feel your heart beating. You can feel your diaphragm expanding. It's a really great position to hold, especially if you're finding that you have a hard time maintaining focus when we're practicing our final breathing. As we come into this relaxation portion of our class, ending our practice with meditation. And today's meditation will be breathing. When we're ready, I want you to start counting to 5 with each inhale. Take a 1-second pause at the top, and then exhale to the count of 5. If you need help, I can count for you. We inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going at your own pace. We'll do this one more time. Now we can just start to wiggle our fingers and our toes, noticing how we're feeling. We're feeling very relaxed, feeling calm. Maybe we're feeling tired or happy. Maybe we're feeling distracted, frustrated, agitated. Any of those feelings, I want you to take them into consideration. As we draw the knees in for another hug, and I want you to consider why you're feeling the way you are. Most often after we practice yoga or breathing, meditation, or any sort of stretching and mindfulness, we will notice that we feel a little bit more relaxed, refreshed, calm, maybe have a little bit more perspective, more open-minded to new ideas. But if you're not feeling that way, just ask and reflect. Maybe you were being distracted, or if maybe there was something that was clouding your thoughts or keeping you from really being present and focused during our class today. And that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Take our time as we roll over onto our sides and come up into a comfortable seated position. For final stretches, we'll do our neck stretches. And while we're doing that, I just want us to consider that yoga is a competition-free zone and there is no judgment. Sometimes we're having a great practice and sometimes it's just a little bit trickier. That's okay, because you were here, you showed up, and you were taking care of yourself. Let's finish by taking care of our neck. With amazing posture, we tilt the head over to the right and we press that left arm away. You can play with the position of your chin. Sometimes it helps if you just adjust the angle to really target anywhere through the neck and shoulders. As we take our next inhale, just come up through the middle, and exhale, dropping your head towards the left side. You could feel that exposure through the right. Maybe play with drawing the shoulders back or pushing that right arm away. Good, and inhale, coming back. We're going to say our final goodbye together. So if we'd all like to just assume the position here, sitting up, amazing posture, nice and tall. Take a big inhale, lifting hands up to prayer. Exhale, come down to heart center. Thank you so much. Namaste.